Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to find that the Sardar Patel National Police Academy have organized this 3-day symposium in Bangalore, and the training wing of the Karnataka Police have the honor to be the hosts. I am grateful for the invitation extended to me to inaugurate this symposium. I have great pleasure in getting this opportunity of placing some of my thoughts before this gathering of seasoned officers who are some of the best police brains of the country. I would attempt to speak to you freely and cranky as a friend on the basis of my very long standing and intimate association with the police in India in various capacities. There appears to be a general impression everywhere that crime is on the increase. Figures are produced by the various authorities to reassure the police that the matters are within control. All the same, certain tendencies have to be taken note of. Whenever there is a pressure from above to check crime, the tendency at the police station level often is to suppress the writing of the reports and thereby lower the figures of the cases registered. This, you will agree, is not at all a desirable practice because facts must be revealed truthfully. Secondly, sometimes non-registration of complaints in itself leads to lot of discontent and panic among the people. No one can deny the fact that when population is increasing so rapidly, particularly in the large urban centers, increase in crime would be natural. Often the strength of the police force is not able to keep pace with the increase in the population or increase in the other requirements. This itself results in some slackening of control over crime and criminals. A matter of great importance for all policemen to study is the fact that the methods adopted by the criminals and the very nature of crimes is changing fast towards greater sophistication. It is this aspect which sometimes put the controllers of crime at a considerable disadvantage because they lack the scientific equipment, the necessary skills, and the required training for dealing with such crimes effectively. This is where urgent action seems to be called for. Another factor in the present context cannot escape notice, and that is that often for various reasons persons in high positions in trade or industry or even in public life give some kind of shelter or protection or support directly or indirectly to some of the persons involved in certain categories of crimes. It is here again that the police find themselves at a great disadvantage. But the matter need not be given up as hopeless because effective remedies could be found even for a baffling situation like this by tackling it tactfully at a higher level. Now I turn to perhaps one of the most important aspects of police functioning in any part of the world with particular reference and even greater relevance to our country. We function as a welfare state. The meaning of a welfare state has to be understood very clearly. The functioning of the government in every department, including the police, has to be directed pointedly and specifically towards securing benefit and welfare of the people for whom the government functions. It follows therefore that as far as the police functioning in the country is concerned, the objectives could be clearly defined in a simple language as doing good to the law-abiding citizens to the maximum extent possible. With the large numbers that we have in our country, it can easily be argued that the strength of the police can never be enlarged to an extent as to be sufficient for giving protection to all the citizens. But it has to be clearly understood that the task of the police can be made much easier and much smoother if they are able to create the image as friends of the good citizens and as enemies of the criminals. It is this image which will surely bring forth so much of goodwill and cooperation of the people for the police. In such a situation, we will not need so much strength as we may calculate theoretically before a gathering like this. I need not recall the example of the London police where even the constable has such an image of competence, friendship and strength in the eyes of the people. It is not that our people are not appreciative of the good work done by the police. But by and large, the people in our country are still afraid of the police and they would like to keep away as far as possible rather than come forward to help them. The impression goes round, rightly or wrongly, that the police will side with the guilty and oppress the innocent, or that the police will side with the people who can afford to spend money and ignore the just grievances of the poor and the downtrodden. Such an image certainly cannot bring forth any help or cooperation from the people for the police, and it is here that maximum thought and attention has to be paid in the training institutions. I would also like to mention here that the thinking of our people towards the police also has to undergo considerable change. It is here that some responsibility lies on the leadership of our country. Even our legal system is somewhat defective, so much so that under our Evidence Act, no statement made before a police officer is admissible in a court of law as evidence. This thinking must change, and to begin with, we should provide that at least a statement made before a senior inspector of police and officers higher than him should be made admissible as evidence in courts of law. This, of course, will also entail corresponding responsibility on the police officers that they observe the due processes of law. There is indeed so much one can say on a subject like this, but one must respect the limitations of time. I would like, however, to stress that the police is a noble profession. It is the mainstay of government business. With proper training and proper attitudes, there is no reason why policemen should not enjoy the respect of the entire society. Jai Hind.